Hi there boys and girls, Brucey here, and I am back to vlogging, and once again I am at a train station, and here goes the train. So what I thought I'd talk about in this series of videos is a bit of a day in the life of, and in this case it's going to be a couple of weeks in the life of, as someone who does this as a full-time career, just to take you through some of the things that I end up doing. So here I am. The thing about having a career in this industry is you've got to be prepared, I think, to do a fair amount of travelling. If it's going to conferences, if it's going to networking events, if it's going to gigs, if it's touring, there is a lot of travelling, and luckily I'm a person who likes travelling. So do bear that in mind. I think, you know, you can do a lot of stuff from home, but travelling is a big part of the whole adventure. Just arrived at Euston, and I'm running off to get a train from Victoria on the Underground. That was a bit of a flying run across town to get down to Victoria Station for my next train. Good to be back home in London. London is my home time after all. Get those moments of pangs of missing it, but onwards I've got to catch another train. So here I am, just arrived in Brighton on my way to the conference, and I'm a few minutes late because the train was late. Surprise, surprise. So now I've got to run down the road to get to the conference centre. And here we are in Brighton Seaside, just by the pier in the background, getting ready for another day of work. But at least it's pretty scenic today. Another day, another train station, heading away from Brighton now. That was a flying visit. Off to Guildford, after Anderton's. Now at Gatwick Airport. Next stop, Guildford. Another day, another station, this time Oxford. Currently at Birmingham New Street. Confused, trying to switch platforms, so it's just kind of chaos. So rushing to the train, no idea exactly where I'm going. And now we are here in Valencia Airport. So yes, another box ticked on the list of various destinations I have been to in the last week. And now I'm in the airport, and I've looked outside where we kind of knew when we arrived on the plane, but you can see that it's raining. So I've come all the way from Manchester, and it's raining here as well. And here I am at the Palace of the Arts in Valencia. It's quite bright and sunny, and that makes an amazing difference to everything. Looking forward to the CD Baby DIY EU conference. Actually can't wait. Came last year. It was one of the best things I've ever done. I'm really excited to be back here again today. Hi there boys and girls, Brucey here on another part of this adventure. So I am now off to a gig, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity to just talk about the amount of travelling. As you've probably seen from the beginning of this video, been a little bit all over the place over the last couple of weeks, pretty much all across the UK, then headed down to Spain for the fantastic DIY Musicians Conference hosted by CD Baby in Berkeley. Absolutely amazing time and well worth the effort, and that kind of symbolises what I wanted to talk about here in terms of the importance of travelling as a musician. as you can see, again, that's what I'm talking about. You're in the car now on the way to a gig, because the majority of what I do, a lot of my time is spent actually traveling. On this is quite a bumpy road, as you can tell. Apologies about that. It should even out in a minute. It's very bouncy, isn't it? Here I am at T-Bay Services. One of the things you start to realise when you travel around there is you start figuring out where all the service stations are, and there's probably none better in the UK than this one here at T-Bay. So yes, that's certainly a consideration that you will need to make when you are thinking about being a musician, is how much do you like being away from home, and how much do you mind or don't mind traveling, because you've got to get out, you've got to get to places, obviously, if you are a gigging musician, and you've got to get out and you've got to get to places to meet people. And that's kind of like a lot of what I'm doing, is going around meeting people, because the internet is great, and the internet is a great source of connecting people, but it's not the same as meeting people face to face. So really putting in the time, putting in the effort to use the N word, the networking word. I'm not, a big fan of what that can conjure up, the idea that it can conjure up in some people's mind, but it is key to the role. It's key to success. It's kind of key to life, really, is meeting people. And the way to meet people is to travel. And admittedly, if you're in a bigger city, that's probably a little bit easy, because there's a denser population of people and more people that you can meet with, and you can get around a little bit easier. But again, if you're trying to get out there, you're trying to market yourself, there are all these things happening in the world, and the way you get to them is via traveling. And you've just got to accept that, I think, and I certainly accept it. But a big thing for me is I love traveling and I love driving, so it's real skin off my nose. So here I am in another scenic location up on Arthur's Seat in Edinburgh, and you may or may be aware that another blogger, Christian Henderson, who I admire greatly, also blogs from up here, so I thought I had to do a piece to camera up here as well, just as a little nod to him. Thanks for the great videos, keep up the great work and the great products, and we're off now. And yes, I am finally back in the studio. I have been doing a lot of traveling, and this video is all about the traveling that I have been doing and the necessity to travel to kind of make things work as a musician. Now, I know that this may not be applicable to everybody. If you're like doing library work or production work or media work, maybe you do get to be in a fixed base. Because I do a lot of different things, it involves a lot of traveling, as you can see here with all the snippets that I'm throwing in all over the place. And what I wanted to say is, if you are trying to be successful in this industry, that you've got to be pretty open-minded to travel. And if you are feeling that you want to be based in a studio, think, well, I haven't got to go anywhere. Well, I argue that you do. You're going to have to go places to meet people, and there is nothing more important than getting out there and networking with other people if you want to succeed in this industry, because it's all about people. It's all about the people that you meet. Facebook, social media is great with some regards, but in other regards it's not great. It's face-to-face contact which really makes this stuff happen. I've lost track in the last month of how many miles and how many stations and how many airports I've been at, but it's all been totally worth it. From traveling to gigs, to traveling to conferences, to traveling to networking events, to travel to meet my students. I do a lot of teaching, and that means teaching at various different establishments, which means driving around a lot. So I spend a lot of time in my car, and my car is probably one of the most important assets that I have as a musician, as an engineer, as a lecturer, because it enables me to do my job. I've got amazing guitars, I've got some amazing amps, I've got an amazing studio that I love, but probably if I knuckled down to it and really thought about it, it would be the car and access to public transport and airports, which really make this happen for me. I'd love to hear about your travel stories. Where have you been, where you go, how many miles per year perhaps that you do. I've lost track at how many miles per year. A lot of miles put on the car, a lot of miles driving late at night, early in the morning, and it's a good job that I love traveling. So that's why I'm saying, putting it out there to you guys, you know, really consider the fact that if you want to get out there gigging, out there promoting your own material, you're going to have to get used to going around, and that's what I wanted to be honest with you guys about. You know, there's a lot of travel involved. It's a lot of fun most of the time. Sometimes it can be very, very painful, particularly if you fly a certain airways which rhymes with Brian Air in the UK. You never know what you're going to get. You're never going to know when you're going to get there. In the UK at the moment as well, traffic is awful, so that does add some stress and strain to traveling. It means you've got to leave a lot earlier and be a lot more careful in planning what you take with you, and being able to work, you know, have a bag full of stuff that you can work on when you get to a venue early. You get to a lesson early, you get to a meeting early, because it's better, you know, always be early. That's the other thing, always be early for things, never be late. It's not a good impression if you're late for things. So have things that you can do. You know, laptop computers make that life easy. Even taking a guitar, throwing it in the boot and being able to do a little bit of practice before something is ideal. Tell me your thoughts on traveling and how much traveling you do as a musician, artist, creative composer. I've been Brucey. I hope you found that useful. Please do tune into my channel for more videos. I look forward to hearing from you, and I will catch you later.